The following is an exclusive presentation of WI Garden Media, the voice of Garden Talk Radio. Coming up on the program today, we're going to discuss what you can do with all of that zucchini that's going to be coming out of your garden, as well as canning meat and fish. Our guest is YouTuber Holly Capelle with us, and we'll answer your garden questions. The hour's full, so join us.
You are listening to the most informationally packed hour of garden-focused radio in the country and on the internet with your host, husband and wife team Joey and Holly Baird. This is the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. And
welcome to another edition of the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. Happy to have you along. I'm your host, Joey Baird. Beside me is my wife, co-host, best friend, and gardening partner,
Holly Baird.
This program is for you, about you, to help your garden grow better, to maintain your landscape, grow healthier trees, make your grass look greener, as well as preserving what you grow. Happy you're tuning in, whether you're listening to us on one of the 20 AM and FM frequencies, broadcasting our program here in 2025 through our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, underneath the Season 9 tab, podcast replay, or in-studio video replay. Thank you for choosing us to be part of your day just for a little bit. You want to be partake in the program, you can do that by sending us an email to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Send us your question. Let us know where you're listening from. Or you can give us a call toll-free, coast-to-coast at 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469. Before we get in the program, Holly, it's time for this week's Joke of the Week.
Okay, so what is a farmer's favorite type of music?
Bluegrass, grass, something.
Anything with a good beat.
Oh, beat.
Beats, yep. Mm-hmm.
Money beat.
Yep. Yeah. This week's garden joke is brought to you by Rescue.com. American-made rescue products keep your family, home, and yard protected from insects like wasps, hornets, yellow jackets, flies, ants, and more. Learn more at Rescue.com. That's RESCUE.com.
Well, soon enough, we hear the stories each year that I've got more zucchini than I know what to do with. I planted 2 plants, or planted 5 plants, thought I'd get a little bit, and you've got buckets and barrels and bushels of zucchini coming out of your garden. And I don't know when it started, but years ago, they have national, put zucchini on your neighbor's porch day, someday in August.
I think it's like August 8th or something.
It's a real thing.
It's sneaking. They're sneaking the zucchini on.
And there's some people that make sure the car doors are locked because people have put bags of zucchini in the front seat.
Right.
Yeah. So there is a number of things in which you can do with zucchini besides just what I grew up with. Cut it thin, roll it in egg, cornmeal, pan fry it in butter until it gets brown on both sides, and eat it. There are multiple things in which you can do. One is you can grill it.
Yeah, you can just grill it, whether that be outside on the grill, over a grill pan, or even just...
We're just talking, cut it in thin dices.
And then you can season it.
In coin shape, yeah.
Yeah, however you want. Salt and pepper, garlic.
You don't want to turn it into a chip. You just want it to warm a little bit.
Yeah, kind of warm it up, kind of give it some caramelization with the grilling. Another one is sauteing it. This is just another form of heating it and cooking it, almost like frying, but without frying it without the breading. So you're just sauteing it. You could do
like butter or your favorite oil or whatnot. Yeah.
And you could in turn add that to a stir fry or do that on its own, whatever makes sense for you. Or another thing you can do is if you are into camping and you cook over the campfire, you can add to foil packs with other vegetables, and then you will have a foil pack zucchini.
Now, with your zucchini coming out of your garden, some of you already have that happening. There is no wrong time to pick it. You can pick it small. You don't have to wait for it to get, baseball size, length, and diameter. You can pick, 4, 6, 8 inch long, 2 inch diameter. The smaller the diameter, the smaller the item is, the smaller the zucchini is, the less seeds are going to be in it, the more tender it's going to be. When you wait to get it that large, I forgot about it, and it turns into a lethal weapon, the seeds are very, very big. It's very woody. It will keep over winter, and you can use it in stir fries on Christmas Eve. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of good to it.
No, too big of a zucchini is not good.
And you would use that for relish, essentially.
Right.
Just de-seed it and use it for relish, because otherwise it's too woody for anything else.
So zucchini relish is just basically like a pickle relish, but it's made with zucchini, and it's delicious.
Yeah.
You can, if you want a green, you're not going to get that green relish color unless you add like food coloring. Otherwise, it's just going to be kind of zucchini color.
Mock apple pie. What this is, take everything that you normally make an apple pie, minus the apples, add zucchini, peeled zucchini, without the seeds. Nobody will know the difference.
Yeah, basically, we learned about this from a lady at a farm stand, and
A woman, she was older, she was up in age, and she's been around. She knew a few
she learned
things.
it from like the Amish or something?
I don't know where she learned
I
from.
can't
She also
remember.
said if you have two good crops, you can survive the winter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is probably true. So the mock zucchini pie, mock apple pie
Yeah.
is. Did we ever try that or no?
We have not.
We should.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now soup here. This is not something I'm excited about. Zucchini soup. We tried zucchini in the crock pot with something one time, and it was not a good ending. It was very mushy, and
You kind of have to add it to a vegetable soup instead of just making it into a soup. So, like, if you were going to make a veggie soup, you would add whatever vegetables and then include the zucchini so that you're not just only having zucchini soup, because it has a very distinct taste, and it gets like, to me, it gets overpowering or old, like not old tasting, but like just, it's a lot of zucchini. So I would recommend, if you're going to make it with soup, you want to.
also younger zucchini
Yeah.
would probably be better.
Another thing people will do, and I have a friend that does this, is she runs the zucchini when she gets it through the food processor as is. She, chops it up a little bit so it fits in the food processor, and she turns it into like a zucchini mush, which sounds super delicious. But then she freezes it, and then she uses it for zucchini bread, whatever, throughout the year. And then also she'll add, when she's making soups, she'll add like a cup of that to the soup to kind of thicken up the stock a
So
little
it's
bit.
shredded zucchini is what
Yeah.
it is. And
Yeah.
just in a bag, so she can do 2 cup increments, pull it out, boom, use it for that, and it's already done, ready to go.
Right. And she has a few kids, so it helps kind of stretch soup and stuff like that to add some more vegetables to it and fiber and all that good stuff.
Well, soup, you can use soup, you can do stew. Now, the primary difference between soup and stew lies in the liquid content and consistency.
Right. Stew is not as liquid.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can use zucchini for stew and soup. So,
You could make like a beef stew and add some zucchini. Or you could even do like a curry type dish and add zucchini. I've had that where there's zucchini in the curries, so that's delicious too.
zucchini boats. Now, what is zucchini
This is
boats?
something you make.
Yeah, I know. I want you to explain it
Okay.
for those who are not familiar with what it's not a tradition like they float giant pumpkins down the river. It's an edible thing, not a getting rowboat
I
across.
just realized you haven't made this for a while. You should make this soon.
Well, when we get zucchini, we will.
So what
We could do it over the campfire with
Can we do it over
venison.
Could we?
Yeah, why not? Why couldn't you?
I don't know. I thought you were
People
supposed to,
lived
bake it.
hundreds and thousands of years with fire and no ovens.
Fire and zucchini.
Yeah. They didn't have oven. Well, we can't fix this. We don't have an oven. It's 1493. We don't know what ovens are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, but they had
I think they knew what
they had
ovens are.
zucchini
Yeah.
and fire.
Okay.
So anyway, what Joey does is he cuts the zucchini in half the long way. He scoops out the middle, right?
Yes.
Yes. And then you add. Don't you cook it for a little bit in the oven?
No.
No.
You cook the
You
ingredients.
put the meat.
If the venison or the hamburger, you cook the onions, you saute the peppers, you put it all in there, and then you load it with cheese and let that cheese melt and congeal all of it together while you're cooking the zucchini for like 30 minutes, and then there's multiple different recipes, but that's the gist of how that works.
I don't know if I didn't look up zucchini boat recipes. That's what I just call them.
The bigger zucchini works better for this because you're using a thin wall. You're taking most of the material out, so
Yeah.
all the seeds and stuff are coming out. It's basically the edible. It's just a tiny bowl that you're using and you're eating it.
It is good.
Mock pineapple. Explain this to people who are not familiar, because this is a really fascinating way to utilize a lot of zucchini in a canning form to trick people and make it taste good.
So you have to use pineapple juice and sugar for this. So you're making mocked canned pineapple. And the zucchini absorbs the pineapple juice flavors and it tastes like pineapple. You cut it up, you peel it, you take the seeds out, you cut it up like pineapple, square sizes.
Take it to your family potluck or your church potluck. People will think you can pineapple.
It does take a little bit of time to cook, if I remember correctly. It's been a few years since I made it, but it is delicious.
It tastes exactly like you would not know it was zucchini.
No, it doesn't have the pineapple like stringiness to it, but it's still really good.
Some people don't like that stringiness.
No, some people don't, so that's okay too.
So you got mock pineapple and you got fake apple pie that you're making with zucchini. Yeah.
You could probably.
Well, zucchini is kind of like the mushroom of the garden. It kind of absorbs any flavor you put to it.
Like tofu.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got many tricks.
It's very versatile.
Many tricks up its sleeve, I think.
And you've got the Black Beauty zucchini, the green traditional, and then you've got crooknet, the yellow warty or bumpy zucchini.
When we say zucchini, you could do this also with any sort of summer squash, like the yellow crooknet.
Right.
I don't know. You could do this with patty pan, but I mean, you can do anything.
Patty pan, you can kind of just make the bowl out of itself.
Yeah.
That would work really well for the zucchini boats.
Right. So if you end up getting no zucchini and a bunch of patty pan,
and if you get
this is like summer squash.
Right.
Yeah.
If you get a spaghetti squash that is crossed and it's very dense and doesn't have the stringiness, you could kind of create some of these dishes with that as well. The squash, the spaghetti squash crosses with a pumpkin, and you get this really weird consistency, kind of half pumpkin, half spaghetti squash, and you can do some things with it. You have to add some flavor to that because you don't have really the flavor that you would think you would have in it. Cross squash does exist.
Yes, and we've experienced it.
Yep. Walton's Inc. has non-cross squash, but they have spices, seasoning, and tools for you.
Yeah, you can preserve your fruits and vegetables, but what about the meat? At Walton's, you can get all the equipment, seasoning, and supplies to make sausage, jerky, and any other meat product your way to your high standards. They also have meatgistics.com, an informational site to help you make the best finished product. They have over 15,000 users who will give their opinion and guidance on meat processing issues. They have decades of experience in the meat processing industry. They have everything from meat grinders, mixers, sausage stuffers, spices, and more to help you go from animal to edible. Walton's everything but the meat. You can use code GROW50. That's GROW50 to save 10% off your orders of $50 or more.
When we return, we're going to talk about canning fish and meat. You're tuned in to the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
Got a question for Joey and Holly? Send it via email anytime to gardentalkradio@gmail.com.
4-Jar Canning Supply, your one-stop shop for all your canning needs, where old ways meet new in every jar. They are a family with decades of home canning experience, offering top-quality products and outstanding service. Never run out of canning lids again. Whether you're a seasoned canner or just starting out, their extensive range of canning products will elevate your canning game. 4jars.com. Inspired by the homemade preserves of our childhoods, they want to share that same joy with you. They deeply care about your family's health and understand the importance of homemade, nutritious meals. That's why they offer high-quality products to help you preserve your food. Quality canning lids, pressure canners, vacuum seal machines, and all the tools you need to get the job done. 4Jars has you covered. Our canning lids provide the perfect airtight seal for any regular, wide, or gym-sized jar. With the thickest lids on the market, they provide long-lasting freshness, up to 18 months, and are rust-resistant, ensuring your preserves stay secure. Use code 4jars25 to save 10% off your order at 4jars.com. That's FORJARS25 to save 10% off your order at 4jars, FORJARS.com. Check out ivorganics.com. It's America's leading garden product YouTube channel. IV Organic products are innovative, organic, effective, and proudly USA made to help you achieve your best growing season. Use coupon code RADIO10 at checkout and save 10% on your entire order at ivorganics.com. That coupon code again is RADIO10 to save 10% on your order at ivorganics.com. If you could double the life of your raised bed boxes by sealing the wood with a clear non-toxic wood preservative, would you? Well, now you can with a clear, penetrating product called Internal Wood Stabilizer. It's 100% non-toxic and easy to apply. Seal your untreated wood surfaces, even chicken coops, by spraying on Internal Wood Stabilizer. It's invisible, seals the wood from the inside out, and never wears off. Recommended by organic gardening experts. Internal Wood Stabilizer. Check it out at timberprocoatingsusa.com. Vermont Bean Company is a family-owned and operated gardening company with the largest selection of seeds online. Use coupon code 15TG25 to receive 15% off your order at vermontbean.com. That coupon code is 15TG25 to receive 15% off your order at vermontbean.com. Welcome back to the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show. Thank you so much for allowing us to be part of your day just for a little bit, whether you're listening live on the radio, podcast replay, or in-studio video replay. If you want to find out more about the sponsors you've heard and support the program financially, you can find all that out at the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com under the Money tab for the coupon codes and Season 9 for all additional sponsors. Well, Holly, canning goes beyond vegetables and fruit, and you can get into the meats and fish, which is a way that we can preserve and not need the assistance of freezers or refrigerators.
Right. So with anything with canning, you just want to make sure you are following directions, you're keeping everything sanitized.
There's no shortcuts in safe canning.
There's no shortcuts. Use, just be smart about it. Biggest one is start with quality. So you want to make sure you're using high quality, fresh meats that has been properly handled and chilled. If you have some questionable meat, you don't want to can it. If you're like, this deer might not be okay, this venison, whatever, or even like super high fat meat. So things like livers, I forget the fattiest part of meat, but the super high fat meat you do not want to use. And you want to make sure that you keep all the equipment, everything sanitized. You want to trim the extra fat, gristle. If you're canning fish, you want to make sure there's no scales, bones, things like that. So I think skin is okay, but as far as everything else, you just want to make sure that you are trimming the fat in that way.
And you need to use a pressure canner.
Yes.
This is not a water bath operation. Pressure canner, and each pressure canner is different. Follow the instructions on that particular canner. Make sure you have good quality canning lids, rings, and jars that have no cracks or chips in them. Follow the instructions. There's many different reputable, safe canning recipes online for meats and fish to do this. Now, you can do this with beef, pork, venison probably are the big three, I guess. Maybe there's other ones, buffalo or elk. I know fish is a big one.
Yeah, I think it's usually, like you said, beef, pork, venison, and then fish. I don't know how many people can chicken.
Oh, that's a big thing.
It's a big thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't aware. I had no idea. So, yeah. So, these are the ones. You want to make sure you're using directions, recipes. The National Center for Home Food Preservation has good directions. The Ball Canning Blue Book has good directions. You just want to make sure you're following those directions. And they'll also give you an idea if you have X amount of meat, how many jars will that fill approximately? Approximately.
Not exact.
Not exactly, but approximately. Now, we canned venison for the first time. Was that last year?
Yes.
And it was delicious. I liked it.
Yeah. As hunting season is coming closer, we still have a decent quantity of venison in the freezer. So we will be extracting some of that and canning that. Now, we don't do ground venison in the canning jars. We do cubed raw pack venison in the canning jars.
I like it because it makes for making an easy stew. So
you did it. You pulled it out of the jar one time, and it was like Italian beef. I don't know what you did up at the land. You pulled it out, warmed up.
That stew?
It was, maybe it was a stew.
I know I made a stew.
It tastes like Italian beef.
It was delicious.
You could have tricked anybody and said, hey, here's
That's what I like about it, is that it has like it's very tender.
Yes.
It ends up very tender, and it's very tasty. You don't need to...
Now, be aware now, with venison, if the animal is in the breeding period, the rut, bucks are going to have a distinct taste, very different than pre and post. That's just that's the way it is.
Yeah. So anyway,
the more dominant the buck is, the more prominent that taste is going to be in the meat.
That venison that we canned was delicious, and we still have one jar left. And at some point, I'll have to make more stew because it was really good to make, and I made it at that time over the campfire in the Dutch oven, and it cooked down nicely. Added some potatoes, carrots, probably onion, whatever, and some beef.
Now, if you do it with if you're going to do ground hamburger, you have to grind the hamburger or get it, cook it, remove as much of the fat as possible. Then there's steps in which you can put it in the jar and pressure can it. But there's additional steps to that. If you're doing it with hamburger or fattier material, you can't can that fat. You need to take that out.
Again, yeah, you want to go for the leanest meat possible, the leanest cuts, the leanest process of having the lean meats, because that fat is not good.
Just like in canning vegetables, all the more prep work you do to the item before you can it, the better and safer the result is once it's canned.
Another thing is that you want to make sure you are following the directions. You want to leave the headspace at the top of the jar. It's usually 1 inch, and that's important, especially with canning the meat, because it can expand a little bit. And also, you can add salt, but you don't have to add salt. This is completely optional. It's not for preservation. It's usually just for flavor. So we don't add salt.
No. With the canned deer, the venison, we do, because it's part of the recipe. Now, canned meat, generally you can expect canned meat to maintain good quantity in the jar for 2 to 5 years. It may still be safe beyond that time period if the jar and the lid is undamaged. Now, I know that we watch some people who have canned meat, and it was 5-6 years past since they canned it, and it was still in good shape. But just like vegetables, as you know, focus on that 1 year point. Can it this July, try to process it and use it by next July type of thing. It doesn't mean by August of next year it's going to be moldy and rotten in the jar.
No, but it's just for freshness. It's just for yourself also to just have a plan. Like, you don't want to can too much and then you end up wasting it at some point. You want to make sure that you are using it up and using it first.
Now, with any kind of canning, meat, fish, vegetables, whenever it's time to utilize that particular item for a dish, you want to visually look at it. Does it still look good in the jar? Is the lid still sealed? Okay, check and check. You open it up, instantly smell it. Does it have that smell that item should have? Fresh tomatoes or venison or chicken or whatever you're canning, green beans. Instantly, you will know if there's something off. And if there is something off, toss it out, because there's no point that, yes, you put a lot of effort in, there's time, there's energy, all expend, but it's a lot cheaper to throw it out than have to deal with 2 or 3 days of food poisoning or a trip to the hospital because, well, I don't really want to waste it. We put too much time in it. We got to eat it, kids. That's a dumb move.
It is a dumb move, and I've had to talk you out of things.
I know.
So you have to make sure that you are, dump it down the toilet before your spouse can eat it. Put it in the back 40. Feed it to the crows.
Now, just like vegetables, we want to keep this in a cool, out of direct sunlight location. And I'll bring this up because we see, you can go on canning pages, you can see that people, look at all the stuff at can. Vegetables, meat, whatever. It's all on open shelves in a pantry or in a closet or in the basement. That's fine and dandy. But if there is, and it happens wherever you want, there's earthquakes all the time. If you have 30 jars sitting on a shelf, looks pretty on a picture, but there's no lip on the shelf is just there. There's just a 2x8. if the thing starts shifting and shaking, all those jars are going to fall from their 6-foot position on that shelf, and you got nothing.
Right.
So you need to be smart about where are you putting these, where are you storing these. If things do occur in that manner, is there a way that they're not going to tumble on the ground and shatter, and you got nothing for when you need it?
Yeah, I fully agree. Yes, you want to make sure that you are storing them properly. When you do can them, you want to make sure that the seals are sealing. And then you want to label because...
Date and item, because venison and beef look the same.
Yeah, things look the same. I mean, you probably know when it's fish versus meat or whatever, but you just want to make sure you know what it is, especially for your recipe. If you pick the wrong thing, then you don't want
Just like in vegetable canning, take the rings off after you've canned it. So if there is a chemical reaction inside that jar, it will blow the lid off and you will begin to smell it, rather than if it's tightened with a ring, it tried to release the pressure because something wasn't right in the jar, and either the jar exploded or it resealed, and now you're dealing with bad food. And in the vegetable world, just like in the meat world, we don't mix things together. We don't try to concoct dishes inside of a jar and then can it all at once, so it's a one jar meal. You have to do things separate. You can't mix beef and venison or chicken or fish, or you got to keep everything separate. And I know that some people are like, well, we already know that. We're just trying to get everybody on the same starting line so we all know how the game is played here. We want you to be safe. Yeah, we want you to be safe, and I cannot stress that enough. Again, Some Resources is the National Center for Home Food Preservation. Which is that's the ball. No, the ball canning company is freshpreserving.com. And then you can find stuff on Better Homes and Gardens. I don't know if they have as much stuff about meat, but they do have some good recipes. The first two, the National Food for Home Preservation and the Ball Canning website, or freshpreserving.org, there's phone numbers on those websites. And when you call, people actually answer, and they will help you. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Holly, summer is in full swing. Those nasty Japanese beetles are in full activation mode. We've gotten emails about what to do about them already. They're wreaking havoc on your garden, your beans, your roses, whatever's out there. If you're looking to successfully control beetles without damaging the environment, look no further than Beetle Gone from Phylum Bioproducts. Derived from a naturally occurring soil bacteria, Beetle Gone is the only organic solution and successfully controls beetles invaders. Just mix the powder with water and spray on your plants. Once ingested, the targeted pests will stop feeding and die. And since it's an organic BT product, you know it's a great choice to use on your fruits and veggies in addition to your ornamental flowers and trees. Not only is Beetle Gone the best product that works, it is the only product that is that will not affect the beneficial insects like butterflies, ladybugs, and bees, and has no water toxicity. That's BeetleGone.com from PhylumBioproducts.com. That's BeetleGone.com from PhylumBioproducts.com. Hang out with us. YouTuber Holly Capelle will be with us. You're following this. You're tuned in to the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
Got a question for Joey and Holly? Send it via email anytime to gardentalkradio@gmail.com.
Good garden tools make gardening easier. Wisconsin-made Cobra Head tools simplify weeding, cultivating, digging, and planting. Favorites of professional gardeners, Cobra Head tools are durable, ergonomic, and easy to work with. Visit CobraHead.com and use coupon code SOIL for 10% off your order. David J. Frank, Southeastern Wisconsin's leading landscape company, is a landscaper you need. Their award-winning services include everything from lawn care, landscape maintenance, design, construction, renovation, irrigation, sustainability, and more. Big or small, let the experts at David J. Frank handle the hard work for you. Find out more at davidjfrank.com.
Mantis garden tiller cultivators are the perfect solution for any garden. With their gas-powered 2-cycle or 4-cycle engine, these powerful machines can till 9 or 16 inches of land without you breaking a sweat. And it doesn't stop there. Mantis's optional attachments allow you to aerate, plow, and more with the snap of a finger. Engineered with durability in mind, Mantis tiller cultivators will be your guaranteed garden companion for a long time. You can find more out and details at mantis.com.
A non-selective herbicide that is also USDA Bio-Preferred certified? You bet. Say goodbye to Roundup and hello to No More Weeds by Naturally Green Products. No More Weeds kills weeds with no harsh chemicals and no glyphosate. Safe around pets, No More Weeds has a proprietary sticking agent to use around gardens, pools, decks, patios, anywhere there are weeds. Available online at natgreenproducts.com, Amazon, and Walmart.com. Order yours today. The same great company that brings you no more bugs. Pomona's Universal Pectin is a high-quality pectin that gels reliably with low amounts of any sweetener. If you're trying to reduce the amount of sugar in your diet, you'll love Pomona's Universal Pectin. Now you can make healthy homemade jams and jellies sweetened to your taste. You can use sugar or honey to sweeten. Pomona's Universal Pectin keeps indefinitely when stored in an airtight container. Easy to use, versatile, and comes with directions and recipes in every box. Find out more and where to buy at PomonaPectin.com. Also available at natural food stores and online.
The Shore and Shore utility cart is designed to help you with your projects around the yard and get your garden work done with ease. With a load capacity of 400 pounds, telescoping sides, the ability to use as a flat bed, and the option to pull it behind your bicycle. This cart is ideal for use around the garden, yard, lake, beach, park, and more. In short, the Shore and Shore is the most versatile cart in the market. Check us out at shoreandshore.com and get yours today.
Totally Tomato is a family-owned and operated gardening company with the largest selection of tomatoes online. Use code 15TG25 to receive 15% off your order at totallytomato.com. That's code 15TG25.
Welcome back to the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show. Happy to have you around. Find out more about those sponsors. Our parent website, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, will have all those listed under the Season 9 tab at the top of the page. Holly, let's go to the hotline and bring in our guest for this week.
Holly Capelle is the brains behind the Holly Capelle YouTube channel. She is a mom of 6, author, crafter, food preserver, gardener, home cook, and more. Her new book just recently came out, and it is called Preserving the Seasons, A Guide to Canned, Jammed, Frozen, Dehydrated, Freeze-Dried, Quick-Pickled, and Infused Produce, Herbs and Flowers. It's a cookbook. Welcome to the program, Holly.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, you guys. Glad to be here.
Well, glad to have you. Let's start with the easy question, I guess. How did you get into gardening, and how has that impacted your large family? Did you get into gardening because of the family, or was that something that you had found earlier on in life?
Yeah, it's been something that's just been a part of my life since as far as I can remember. My grandparents gardened, my parents gardened. So it was just sort of a natural progression for me. Things really took off when we bought our first home. And that's when really our love of gardening began as part of our together project my husband and I would do. It became our fun. And then as our family grew and we began to have more and more kids, 2 by 2, until there were 6. Then it really became like a priority for us to be able to grow as much organic foods as possible that we could feed to our babes.
And I find it interesting that people who don't have homes, they don't own their own home or property, when you talk about gardening, well, yeah, it's a fun little thing. It doesn't really get serious until you have your own home, you have that landscape, you have that garden. Hey, we can do something really good with this.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we had an apartment for a time, lived in a townhouse where we would grow strawberries in pots and have an herb or two, on the patio and did what we could. And that was wonderful. But once we did get some land, it seemed as if the grass disappeared a little bit more every year.
That's really a fun thing for sure. So what are some common mistakes that people make when it comes to food preservation, and how can they fix them?
Yeah, I think, there's so many different food preservation options and ways to go about it. I'll just start with, say, dehydrating. I think a lot of people say that they run into problems where, they go to open the jar and everything is mush, or it's got moisture in it, or it's molding. And I think it's because a lot of times they don't dry everything out properly, and also aren't using the proper conditions. If you're doing it naturally, you're going to want to make sure you're in a well ventilated area and not in direct sun. If you're using your dehydrator, you're going to want to make sure that you're processing it long enough. And I think just checking your jars, if that's your specific case, checking those jars a few days after you've jarred them up. If you're seeing any sort of moisture at all, throw it back into the dehydrator and dry it longer. You haven't lost it. There's time to save it. And I think, a lot of people think, oh, I did it wrong, and they throw it all away. But it can be saved if you're checking it, within a few days of processing.
Some of the best things that I have found to put in the dehydrator is cherry tomatoes. Cut them in half, and then you have basically sun-dried tomatoes that you can put on top of pasta, a dish. They're just phenomenal, and people pay top dollar for that kind of stuff at a restaurant or a grocery store.
They really do. They are delicious. And, I love my dehydrator to use for like zero waste stuff. When I'm canning, say, tomatoes, I'll peel those skins off and then I'll dehydrate the skin. So I'm canning the whole tomatoes or cut or, chopped up however I'm going to do it in the canning, but I'm keeping those skins and dehydrating them so that I can turn them into a powder later to season soups and stews and sauces and just all kinds of things.
And you're very prominent on social media, as we are, and I'm sure you see the cringe factor when people are canning and they flip their jars upside down to seal.
Oh, gosh, yes, any sort of open kettle canning, oven canning. The one that really gets me is just the jar vacuum sealers, which are an excellent, option for storing dried goods like beans and rice and such. But when I see, the people sharing it from the TikTok shops or whatever, and they're putting their fresh strawberries in it as if they're going to become shelf sustainable, I mean, it just freaks me out.
Canning is a science, and how you can get a jar to seal when you flip it upside down and put all the liquid. It's people, how some people have survived as long as they have is beyond me.
Yes, exactly. I mean, the whole key to that process is heat. We've got to get those jars hot enough to where the botulism and all of that, everything stops growing and that it becomes shelf stable. And just simply flipping those jars over, it's going to seal your jar, but it isn't going to make that food in there safe to eat.
So let's talk about your book, Preserving the Seasons, a guide to canned, jammed, frozen, dehydrated, freeze-dried, quick-pickled, and infused produce, herbs, and flowers. It's a cookbook. For our listeners, maybe give us an idea of what they could look forward to when they pick up a copy.
Yeah, well, the book is sectioned into 3 parts. There's Saving the Seasons, which goes over all of the different preserving methods, from freezing to quick pickles, drying, dehydrating, boiling water canning, even freeze drying. And then the second part is Savoring the Seasons, using infusions, oil infusions, vinegar infusions with your herbs, spices, fruits. All of those things can really transform a basic pantry into a custom pantry. And then that third part is Serving the Seasons. And that's the section where I provide a bunch of recipes using the things that we've preserved and infused in the first 2 chapters. And I give throughout the book a lot of ideas, ingredient options, and suggestions so that you can really custom make these creations and infusions to meet your own, taste buds and culinary projects.
I want to touch on the dehydrator because people like to dehydrate, but there's so many options available. Is there one better than the other? The circle ones, the square ones. There's ones I recommend fanned. I know there's some that's got heating coil. Is there a go-to? Do you recommend a certain style or brand that you would rely or advise people to purchase?
These are ever evolving machines. I happen to have 3 of them. My favorite is one that I bought 10 years ago myself. It's not one I got from a company, and it's really held the test of time. It's a circular one. I find that the food dries evenly in the circular one where the fan is on the top. But there are so many different machines, and it really depends too on what you're trying to do. I've got a dehydrator that's got stainless steel racks that I prefer to use when I'm making like beef jerky, and then the round ones are my go-to for when I'm doing vegetables and fruit or fruit leathers.
Now, you dry store flours. What do you use them for? Not flour like baking, but flour like the plant.
Yes. So a lot of edible flours. I love to dry flours. I use them in cooking. I like to make syrups with them, and then you can use those syrups in beverages and baking, popsicles, on and on. I love them in tea. I use them as edible decor on my food. We also powder them up and use them to make homemade makeup and lotions, and some have medicinal uses. Nature is magic, and I'm collecting as much of it as I can in my yard. And slowly we've been, getting rid of the plants that don't offer any benefit and replacing them with either medicinal or edible flower in its place. So we're starting to get quite a collection going over here.
So your YouTube channel is just your name, Holly Capelle. Can you tell our listeners what is available there?
Oh, yeah. Right now, I kind of share more in stories. Every once in a while, I pop over a long form video, really sharing the bulk of my stuff on Instagram right now. It's kind of like my main hub. And then when I want to do more of a how-to video or just talk to you more about options or process, I'm leaning on YouTube. And I'm starting to do that more often. So I hope that you'll see more happenings from me over there in the coming months.
Now, we hear the term freeze dryer, and your book has that in it. For people who know the term but do not understand the process, what is going on with the freeze drying in addition, besides just dehydration?
Yeah, so freeze drying is sort of the combination of the freezer and the dehydrator. It takes the foods and it freezes them quickly at a very low temperature, like -40. And that puts it in like a stasis where everything is just frozen in time. The nutrient value, the color, the taste, even some of the texture is preserved. And then from there, the machine begins to vacuum seal around the food, and the trays start to warm at a slowly at a very high temperature until the food is completely dried. It's really an amazing tool to have. It's got to fit into it's definitely an investment, and it needs to make sense for you. And if you're a camper, if you have pets, if you're a large scale gardener, farmer, if you're looking to make baby food or you want to prep for long-term storage, then this is definitely a method for you.
Is there anything that you can't use a freeze dryer for? Meat, food? I know people do juices in that. Is there any no-nos to that?
Yeah, there are a few high-fat stuff, chocolate, butter. It just doesn't freeze and dry well. But if those items are ingredients in something, say you're freeze drying, cookies that have butter in it, that would be fine. Or chocolate chips in it, that's totally fine. But a chocolate bar isn't going to freeze dry.
Yeah, it is an investment, but it is a cool tool to have if you can afford it and it works for you.
It really is. And it's a wonderful alternative for making healthy snacks. Freeze-dried fruits at the store are a pretty penny. But if you can get strawberries in season from your own garden or from, say, a you-picked farm, and you can do a mass amount of them, you're going to save a lot of money in the long run, and you're going to be eating really great snacks.
Well, Holly, we appreciate you having you on the program. How can people find out more about you, your YouTube channel? Where can they get your book?
Yeah, you can find the book at your local bookstore, online where fine books are sold. There's also a link in my bio on Instagram at Big Family Living. You can get it there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate the information. It's a very unique and interesting and informational cookbook you've got there, and I encourage our listeners to go take a gander and get that because you got a little bit of everything in there.
We do indeed. Yes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity to sit down and talk with you guys today.
Absolutely. We thank you so much for that. And when we return, it's your garden questions and our garden answers. You're tuned in to the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show.
Have a garden question? Give Joey and Holly a call now or anytime 24/7. Just dial 1-800-927-SHOW. If you can't get through, leave a message and they will call you back. Call now 1-800-927-SHOW.
Azure Standard is America's premier family-owned online store for organic foods and healthy products for your home and garden. They deliver directly to families and commercial customers through over 3,500 drop points across all 50 states. Azure Standard strives to make grocery shopping easy, bringing all your needs to one convenient pickup location. As a trusted national health food distributor, Azure Standard offers bulk and specialty health foods to communities nationwide. With over 12,000 products, each one is approved and carefully sampled to ensure the highest quality. Azure Standard holds firm to non-GMO, organic, and natural standards. From food and beauty products to household items, nutritional supplements, animal care, hobby supplies, and even garden essentials, Azure Standard truly has everything for your daily living. Visit AzureStandard.com. That's AZURE Standard.com. Use promo code Joey and Holly 15 at checkout to get 15% off for new customers who open an account for the first time and place a minimum order of $100 or more, shipped to a drop location of your choice. That's code Joey and Holly 15 at AzureStandard.com. Azure Standard is AZURE Standard.com.
Jung Seed Company is a family-owned and operated gardening company since 1907 with the largest selection of seeds and plants online. Use coupon code 15TG25 to receive 15% off your order at jungseed.com. That coupon code is 15TG25 to save 15% off your order at jungseed.com.
R.H. Shumway is a family-owned and operated gardening company with a large selection of seeds and plants online. You can use code 15TG25 to receive 15% off your order at rhshumway.com. That's code 15TG25. Garden like a pro in 3 easy steps and receive customized fertilizer recommendations for your garden or lawn. Soil Savvy helps you determine what nutrients your plants need to thrive. Never again over-apply nutrients they don't need. A patented process that makes you a smart gardener. To get your soil test kit, go to mysoilsavvy.com.
Have insects such as aphids or fungal gnats invaded your plants? Fight back with Summit Year-Round Spray Oil and Summit Mosquito Bits. Organic Summit Year-Round Spray Oil kills insect pests on indoor and outdoor plants. All natural mosquito bits kill fungal gnats larvae in container plants. Both products are harmless to people, plants, and wildlife. Summit Year-Round Spray Oil and Summit Mosquito Bit are available at garden centers, hardware stores, and at SummitResponsibleSolutions.com. One Sweet Earth makes the last garden bed you'll ever need. Strong, simple, sustainable. One Sweet Earth beds slide together in minutes. No tools, no rot, no junk. Durable, non-toxic, woman-owned, made in the USA. Visit OneSweetEarth.com. Save your back. Easily and quickly remove trees and shrubs from your property with the Weed Wrench. Find it at weed-wrench.com. Made in the USA. Use coupon code WEED to save $10 off your Weed Wrench at weed-wrench.com. Welcome back to the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show. Happy to have you along. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your day, choosing us for a little bit. You got a question? It's time for your garden questions and our garden answers. You want to find out more about the companies that support the program? You can visit our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, underneath the Season 9 radio tab at the top of the page. You want to be, got a question? Send it on over. Send it on over to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com. You can also give us a call, toll free, coast to coast at 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469. If we can't get to you on the air, leave a message and we will call you back with the answer to your question. Let's see what we can get through to the top of the hour here, Holly.
All right, so I am in southeast Wisconsin, like you all, and I found a Japanese beetle in my garden. I know one of your sponsors makes a product to deal with these destroyers, but I cannot remember which. Would you please remind me, and what product to deal with these garden ruiners? So they saw one.
Well, one means there's hundreds more.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I like the proactiveness.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The company is phyllombioproducts.com. John is one of the owners. His number, he publicly lets, he's been on the show. He's been on the program, 650-296-2574. You can also go to our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, and underneath the Radio 9 tab at the top of the page, you can find the link to their website, phyllombioproducts.com. They got all the products, organic products that will help eradicate, control, and eliminate those Japanese beetles before they come into your garden and now that they are in your garden, like BeetleGone.com. I have a peach tree with a limb that has begun to break off. What is the best way to deal with this damage?
Okay, so this listener also has another limb on that tree that is kind of cracked. It's not fully falling off. It could fall off, but I advise her to leave that limb there unless it looks like it's going to fall off. So this limb that did fall off, however, you want to make sure you make a nice clean cut if you can reach it. So you want to trim off whatever might be hanging from leftover from
as close to the trunk as possible without cutting into the trunk so it can scab over.
Right. So then what will happen is that the trees are pretty resilient. It will scab over. It'll kind of heal itself.
Don't spray black paint on it or put tar on it like people used to do.
That was a thing?
That was a thing, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because you are suffocating the tree. The tree needs oxygen and air just like a wound on your arm to heal properly.
Oh, that makes sense why she asked what to put on it, because I was like, I've never heard of putting anything on it.
Yeah, people would put tar or black paint on it.
That makes sense. So anyway, aside from that, just leave it, just trim it as close to the tree as possible, and then just let it do its thing. You want to make sure you keep it properly watered. And then you can apply a fruit fertilizer in the spring. That's not necessary. If you are going to prune fruit trees, though, you want to wait until
before the buds develop in the spring.
Yep.
Now, if you've got a tree like she has that has there's a limb that's cracked and could potentially break off, you want to consider how likely that is, due to the fact that if that limb breaks off, it could tear that bark down the tree as well, creating a very large wound that can take decades to heal. So if you're seeing that, you may want to go ahead and remove that limb even now in the summer to keep the potential of long-term damage on that tree from being exhibited by cutting it off so it doesn't tear, like, if you get a hangnail and you try to pull it and then more comes off than what should be and it gets really painful. Same thing on a tree. That bark could rip down the side, and that bark is the living, that's the protection of the tree. That's the, I forget what the name of it is. I've lost my thought on that. The cambium layer, that all of that stuff, it heals, it keeps the tree alive and feeds the tree. So keep that in mind. I did some digging in the garden and found out what has been eating everything: roses, petals, mums, basil. It is the
Asiatic
beetle. Yeah.
They attached a picture.
And this is Ilona from Wham Radio 1600. She's wanting to know what is the best way of organically removing this from the vegetable garden, which she does organically. If they're in the flower bed, it doesn't have to be organic, but any ideals on what can be done. Now, basically, this beetle, there's really not a, here's what you need to buy in order to eradicate it. That kind of doesn't really exist. However, they're going to eat the leaves and flowers of over 100 different plants. The adult beetles primarily feed foliage and blossoms at night. They're a nighttime feeder. So there is a way of kind of trapping some of them. You do a small basin of water, and you hang a light bulb above it at night, and they will come and dive in the water and drown. So that's kind of one way of going about doing it. There's milky spore treatment. The parasitic wasp will prey on the grubs. That's a beneficial deal. You can do beneficial nematodes, hand picking these things, but a light trap is a good thing. You want to put it kind of away from where the plants are being devoured at. It's not 100%. It's not 100%.
No.
So there is some different things in which you can do. However, there's not the best, there's not a super great, wonderful answer to do that. The beetle adult is known to be resistant to insecticides, and active ingredients that kind of help control it includes different type of organic chemicals, though they're not 100% exact to do it. So it's kind of one of these things. There's not a good answer, but you need to be aware of it.
Right.
You can do the light trap, catch many of the beetles. Otherwise, you have to be that would be chewing on your plants or hand pick them off.
It's a frustrating. It's annoying, irritating.
Sorry, Lona. Wish we could help you more with that, but that's about the best answer that there is in regards to that particular problem. We thank you for sending that question in. Let's see here. I typically don't heavily prune my tomatoes, but this year, the way they're going crazy. Tons of branches and not many flowers. I pruned about a week ago and used some bone meal today, hoping to allow the rain to pound it in. Top dressing around the base of the plant. I have a few fruit. What do I need to do to help these things along? From Minnesota.
So
we've never pruned a tomato, just to be truthful here.
No, we have not.
We
do trim the bottom part, but that's not pruning.
To prevent splash up and early blight. You're just going to have to give it time. These plants need a certain amount of time in order to develop. Again, pruning them can, in some instances, set them back because you're causing a little stress on them. If you leave them unpruned and let them, cage them, support them, let them naturally grow, there's going to be a point in 3 to 8 weeks, give or take, where you're going to have all of a sudden an explosion of tomatoes. Every limb's going to have tomatoes on it, and you're going to have more than you know what to do with. You just got to be patient. The plant's only going to grow so quickly and put on so much fruit at a certain time. Fairly new to growing Brussels sprouts, our plants appear to have no sprouts on them at this point. Second year in a row. Any ideals? Too many hot days? Too early to worry about it? I'm from the Midwest.
I think it's too early.
It's too early
because it's not. You usually see those in
these things
September.
These take a long time.
Yeah, they're a very long growing plant. Then you don't. I know we've never seen sprouts until September.
Right.
So it does just take time. If you're not patient, maybe don't garden.
Take up woodworking.
Yeah, grow some radishes.
Yeah.
But when we appreciate these questions with you, for sure, but some of the stuff, like, for example, Brussels sprouts was 120 days. 120
days, yeah. 120 to 150 days based on the variety. When you begin to see the sprouts in the crook of the stalk and the limb, go ahead and take the top 6 inches of the plant off. Yes, go down with a pair of scissors or snips and cut that growth tip off. What that is going to do is encourage the plant to begin to develop those sprouts rather than continue to focus on vertical growth, because it will grow another foot before the season's over, and those sprouts are going to be very tiny. By cutting that growth tip off, it's going to encourage the acceleration of those sprouts and get them larger than what you normally would expect them to. So just like garlic hardneck, when you cut the scape off to help develop the bulb, make it larger, same thing with the Brussels sprouts. Well, we are out of time, and we thank you for yours. Miss any portion of the program or like to revisit, you can go to your favorite podcast platform and search the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show, and you'll find it all. So you can find it at our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com. Tune in the program next week where we will be talking about turning poor soil into good soil, as well as 8 home hacks that will save you money. Our guest is host of You Bet Your Garden radio program on NPR. Mike McGrath will be with us, and we'll answer your garden questions. So until next week, for
Holly Baird,
I'm Joey Baird, and we will see you in the garden.